From Citizen TV, this is the Monday Report with Trevor Ombija.
Good evening. We hope you had a great Mashujaa Day. We do know that there's still a dark cloud hanging over following the demise of the former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We continue to pray for the family, for God to give them solace. Later on, we'll have a conversation on the Mashujaa Day celebrations and how everything went by across the nation, including in Kitui, the epicenter of the celebrations. And then we'll have a conversation with Godfrey Osotsi, he's the Deputy Party Leader, ODM, and also Vihiga Senator on ODM after Raila Amolo Odinga, what their plan is going forward and how they intend to keep the party united and how they remember their leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We'd like you to send in your questions at Trevor Ombija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Monday Report. But first, before we get into all that, our top stories tonight.
I have today posthumously conferred upon the Right Honorable Raila Odinga the highest honor of the Republic, the Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya.
Shujaa Raila Odinga. President Ruto confers the country's highest honor, Chief of the Golden Heart, to the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga posthumously. Honoring heroes and heroines. Harambee Stars top scorer in Chan Championship Wesley Ogam, local music artist among 180 Kenyans awarded state commendations. Kabete Vet Lab school murder. Police launch manhunt for students who allegedly murdered 2 guards at Kabete Vet Lab Secondary School. Mourning Raila Odinga. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta visits Raila's grave a day after his burial. Thanks for tuning in. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Njoki Shege. So the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga has been awarded the greatest honor in the country posthumously. President William Ruto granted the late Raila the Chief of the Golden Heart Award, the highest civilian award. The day's national celebrations in Kitui was also dedicated to the fallen leader, as Brenda Wanga reports.
The celebration of the life of the late Raila Odinga continues hours after his interment in Bondo, Siaya. This time round, the stage was at the Ithookwe Stadium, Kitui County, the event this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations. The larger-than-life profile of the now-deceased Raila, now eulogized by the next generation through song, dance, and art. The Mashujaa Day celebrations had been themed around sustainable energy, but that changed with the passing on of Raila last week.
Yesterday, we bid farewell to one of our country's most consequential and impactful sons, a towering statesman, a resolute patriot, and a quintessential hero, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, our former Prime Minister. This is the man, the legend, and the Pan-Africanist to whom we dedicate this Mashujaa Day.
The tributes came from local and regional leaders.
To take this opportunity to renew the heartfelt condolences of the people of Senegal to the brotherly people of Kenya and the passing of Mr. Raila Odinga, a former Prime Minister and a great leader in the political history of Kenya. And even in death, the accolades keep coming. This time, the ultimate honor bestowed upon him.
Our former Prime Minister was a foremost preacher of national unity. He tirelessly reminded leaders and citizens alike that our overarching identity is not defined by tribe, region, or creed, but by the sacred bond of being Kenyan. He often urged us to think Kenya first,
I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I am.
In a moment that captivated the full-to-capacity stadium was Raila's voice and images that were projected on the big screen in a rendition of his favorite tune. Raila was remembered for his contributions to the democratic and social freedoms enjoyed in the country.
For many days, my head is down, my head is turning around.
As a period for mourning the late Raila Odinga draws to a close, at least on the national stage, this year's Mashujaa Day celebration provided the perfect backdrop to conclude that period as the country continues to remember and reminisce about the lives and times of a man who has been described as a towering figure and a political giant in the country. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV, in Kitui County.
So President William Ruto conferred the highest civilian honor to the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the Chief of the Golden Heart. So what does that mean? Let me explain. CGH is the highest class of the country's national honors. There are 3 levels of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya. First is the Chief of the Golden Heart, CGH, Elder of the Golden Heart, EGH, and Moran of the Golden Heart, MGH. It was established under the National Honours Act of 2013. The award is conferred by the President to individuals who have offered exceptional service, patriotism, leadership, and integrity. The medal itself has a golden 5-pointed star surrounded by a wreath and a ribbon with Kenya's national colours. It symbolizes selfless service, national unity, and excellence in leadership. The award was established by Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, in 1966 to honor individuals who made extraordinary contributions to Kenya. Other recipients include former presidents Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, Daniel Moi, Mwai Kibaki, and Uhuru Kenyatta. Former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Prince Rahim Aga Khan have also received the award. But this is the first time it has been awarded to an opposition leader, and also one of the rare instances of a non-head of state receiving that award. The Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart symbolizes national gratitude, heroism, sacrifice, leadership, and unity. The award is not just ceremonial, it reflects the Republic's highest esteem and serves as a permanent record of the recipient's legacy. So the Mashujaa Day celebrations across the counties were also characterized with decorated tributes to former Prime Minister, the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Kisii Governor Simba Arati indicated the party's willingness to have President William Ruto as its flag bearer, underscoring the Orange Party's commitment to be part of the next government. On his part, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya threw barbs at the government for failing to honor Raila when he was alive. This even as political undertones played out across the counties as leaders in Machakos County shunned the celebrations.
Monday's Mashujaa Day celebrations across the counties were characterized with flags flying at half-mast as the country entered its 5th day of mourning the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Governors who led the celebrations in their respective counties hailed Odinga for his unrelenting quest for unity, with politics of whether or not ODM will field a candidate taking center stage as ODM Deputy Party Leader nudged President William Ruto to rejoin the Orange Party.
How I wish, when you're going to sit down, that you come back to your former party, ODM. If you came back to ODM, definitely we'll have you as our flag bearer.
Kifo cha Raila Amolo Odinga kimetuonyesha kwamba ukiwa kiongozi wa kitaifa, uwe kiongozi ambayo unapinga mambo ya ukabila.
Iko watu wametudharau nchi. Na mimi najua hapa pahali tuko, pahali Unyalego wa kwamba ametuacha. Mimi najua tutakuwa na sauti kamili.
The celebrations were also held in Nyeri, Nyamira, Kisumu and Mombasa counties where the late Raila Odinga was honored with glowing tributes.
Na mimi nataka kusema we recognize the former Prime Minister as our hero today. Hero number 2 ni rais wetu wa Kenya. Ile ahadi ameyapeana zimetoka hapa zikafika mwisho wa dunia. Anachapwa nazo hata kabla hajapitia budget ya kwanza, na bado ametumia ujuzi kuleta serikali pamoja.
On his part, however, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya threw barbs at a section of ODM party members, accusing them of trying to sabotage the ideals represented by the late Odinga.
Huwezi kusifu Raila ni mzuri na ile madila alikuwa anasimamia mnaanza kuikandamiza hata kabla hajazikwa. Itakuwaje? Sasa wengine wanaanza kudanganya jana kwa matanga. Ati Raila aliwaambia akikufa atuwabaki kwa serikali ya broad base. Aliwaambia wapi?
All the other leaders in Garissa, the County Commissioner Ramadhan Mwabudo put criminal gangs on notice, with his counterpart in Narok sounding a warning against malpractice in the ongoing national examinations.
In collaboration with the national government, we are establishing an administration police training college in Rumoru to strengthen peace and open up new economic frontiers.
In Machakos County, leaders shunned the celebrations, while in Kericho, the Deputy Governor castigated Governor Eric Mutai for what he said was gross incompetence.
Pesa yetu milioni kadhaa zimepotea. Saa hizi wananchi wameuliza wanataka hospitali, wanataka barabara, wanataka maji. Tukiwa na ufisadi hiyo vitu mtatoa wapi? Na hiyo ni pesa ya kodi.
Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Now, a day after the state burial of former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was a close friend, returned to Opoda Farm and Kango Kajaramogi to console his family. During the visit, the fourth president in the company of the Odinga's elder brother, Oburu Odinga, visited Raila's grave and said a prayer. The two then visited the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Mausoleum to honor the memory of the Oginga's family contribution to Kenya's history and democracy. Later on in the day, the retired president visited the home of the late Raila, where he condoled with Mama Ida Odinga. Still on Mashujaa Day celebrations, President William Ruto outlined food security, value addition and infrastructural development as key pillars to elevate Kenya to the first world status. President Ruto emphasized that while the journey may seem difficult, it is achievable through visionary leadership. Melito Letenges has the details.
President Ruto used the national celebrations to outline a renewed roadmap for national transformation.
If Kenya is to attain first world status within our lifetime, as it must, we should set for ourselves daring, audacious goals and pursue them with unwavering focus.
The first pillar, food security, through large-scale food production. President Ruto revealed that the country spends over 500 billion Kenya shillings annually to import food, a trend that he says is unsustainable if the country is to transform.
Tuwache kuagiza vyakula kutoka nje. Inawezekana tuzalishe chakula ya kutosha Kenya. Tunatumia zaidi ya bilioni 500 kila mwaka kuagiza chakula kutoka nje. Ni lazima sasa tuwe na pesa ya kutengeneza dams ama mabwawa ya maji 50, yale yanaitwa mega dams, ndio tuweze kuzalisha chakula kutokana na kunyunyiza maji mashamba yetu.
The second pillar is value addition through industrialization, shifting Kenya from an importer to a producer and exporter of finished goods.
We need to generate more energy. We cannot industrialize. We cannot be a manufacturing country if we have only 2,300 megawatts of energy. We need to generate, at the minimum, 10,000 megawatts so that we can power our industries. We can power our agro-processing and value addition and create products that we are going to export to the markets that we have already negotiated.
President Ruto added that to power these industries, sufficient energy will be a priority investment area for the government. Lastly, infrastructure development, which the president said Raila Odinga urged him to prioritize as a critical driver of economic growth.
The late Raila Odinga told us you cannot be a progressive first world country without first world infrastructure. We need to do more roads. That's why I've said we need to do 10,000 kilometers of tarmac. We need to do more dualing of roads. We need to do our airports. We need to do infrastructure that is going to support the progress and the prosperity of our nation.
While acknowledging the enormity of the task, President Ruto maintained that it is within reach.
I am asking political leaders from across Kenya that we hem in together, we rally together and lift this nation. Kenya is ripe for transitioning from a third world country to a first world country because we have what it takes and we have the resources that will lift this country forward.
He also disclosed that he has been in consultation with former President Uhuru Kenyatta and other leaders in aligning towards these shared national goals.
Kenya's potential has hardly been scratched on the surface. That is the message of President William Ruto. He insists he will give precedence to the blueprint they orchestrated with the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, with the aim of moving Kenya from being a third world country to a first world country. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV at Ithokwe Stadium, Kitui County.
Mashujaa Day celebrations held at the Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui County, a perceived opposition political stronghold, brought with it promises for goodies from President. Now President William Ruto, who used the occasion to hit out at the opposition leaders led by Kalonzo Musyoka for dividing Kenyans without an agenda for the country, says that his administration will revive stalled projects in Ukambani. Kalonzo, who hails from Kitui County, gave the event a wide berth, only sharing Mashujaa Day celebration message on his social media handles. Gatete Njoroge has the details.
In a packed Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui County, music flowed freely in a celebratory mood as thousands stand up to mark Mashujaa Day. President William Ruto, who has twice cancelled his tour of the region, with the recent one being last week, following the death of Raila Odinga, landed in Kitui with good news.
Hiyo ziara yangu sasa nitaipeleka mbele kidogo. Wiki mbili zijazo mimi nitakuwa hapa.
The head of state outlined his agenda for the residents, saying his administration will commit billions to change the region's fortunes with a key focus on reviving key development projects.
Mulituuliza tujenge barabara kutoka Kibwezi na mulisema hiyo barabara iende mpaka ishikane kule Mwingi. Hiyo barabara tulijenga ikakuja ikakwama mahali fulani pale. Sasa mimi nataka niwatangazie. Mahali hiyo barabara ilikwama. Sasa nimetafuta pesa ya kuikwamua, kujenga ifike Migwani mpaka ifike Mbondoni iungane na barabara ya kwenda Garissa.
For a region that faces serious water challenges, President Ruto has promised to ensure completion of dams in the area, which have stagnated for years.
Tumepata pesa bilioni 9 ya kukamilisha hiyo dam ya Thwake. By April, May next year, that dam will be complete na itasaidia watu wa Kitui, watu wa Makueni na watu wa Machakos.
The head of state took a swipe at opposition leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who skipped the event despite it happening in his backyard.
Maneno ya zamani ya kusema sijui bomwe, sijui betwe, Ukambani ikabaki nyuma, haitatendeka tena. Nasikia hata kuna wengine wanajaribu kueneza siasa ndogo ati maskini jeuri. Iko maskini jeuri ya kufanya nini? Hii stadium tulijenga kama serikali ya Kenya. Tumeweka hapa milioni 750.
Once complete, the plan will shift to ensuring similar stadiums are in place in Machakos and Makueni counties, Other key areas government targets to appease the region is the construction of affordable housing, markets, and improving food security.
Tumewapatia budget ya shilingi bilioni 15 ya Kitui. Tayari tuko na projects ya shilingi bilioni 7. Tuko na soko, mmesikia governor akisema soko kubwa ya Kitui Town. Hiyo soko kubwa ya Kitui Town sasa tutaichukua kutoka county, tutaimaliza na tutakamilisha.
President William Ruto has urged the region to unite behind his leadership and shun those who he says are spreading division and ethnic rhetoric at the expense of progress. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV.
Now, Citizen TV journalist Mwanamisi Hamadi, Harambee Stars top scorer in Chan Championship, Wesley Ogam, are among 184 Kenyans recognized as national heroes and heroines during this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations at Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui County. Hamadi received the honor for her acclaimed show, Mwanamke Bomba, which highlights women driving change in the society. Willie Lusige has more.
Mashujaa Day is celebrated annually to honor those who contributed to Kenya's freedom and growth, also recognizes citizens shaping the country's progress. This year's celebration saw more than 180 Kenyans honored by President William Ruto for their outstanding services across 14 categories, including freedom, entrepreneurship, arts, sports, human rights, environmental conservation, and peace.
The next award goes to
Citizen TV's Mwanamisi Hamadi was also feted for her award-winning show Mwanamke Bomba, which spotlights Kenyan women transforming communities through innovation, leadership, and entrepreneurship, and her professionalism in advancing women's empowerment.
Kila Jumanne mimi husema leo namvisha taji mtu fulani, leo namvisha taji, lakini leo kwa uwezo wa Mungu kwamba na mimi niko hapa navishwa taji kama mwanamke bomba.
His Excellency Dr. Ambassador.
Under arts and culture, Kenya celebrated trailblazers defining its sound and literature. Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Kenya's most celebrated author, Ngugi was honored for elevating Kenya literature to global prominence. Also recognized were producer Clement Rapudo, Clemo, legendary rapper Jua Kali, and the late Benga maestro Daniel Owino Misiani.
Omar is being honored for his role in the Kenyan football sector and Harambee Stars.
In sports, Omar Aboud, Harambee Stars captain during the 2024 CHAN, led 4 other players honored for their historic performance. Wesley Ogam Rabok emerged as Kenya's top scorer, Brian Omondi shone as a man of the match for his goalkeeping heroics, and Alpha Onyango earned the same title twice for his midfield brilliance. Nicodemus Kimanthi Musau, the team's manager and data analyst, was recognized for using technology and sports science to boost performance. Mombasa Governor Abdul Somad Nasir was honored under the statesmanship and governance for his transformative leadership and commitment to good governance.
Your Excellencies.
Lilian Ngala was recognized under philanthropy for supporting widows, orphans, and unemployed youth, including building homes for widows. In human rights, Harriet Igonga Chigai was celebrated for advancing gender equality and legal reforms. Kevin Misido was honored under peace building for using media to promote dialogue on governance, accountability, and inclusive development. Tobias Ouma Lando, CEO of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, was feted for his innovation and leadership in driving Kenya's manufacturing and entrepreneurship agenda.
Anaenziwa kwa sababu ya entrepreneurship and industry, providing renewable, affordable energy for characterizing industrial development of this country so that our youth can get jobs.
The heroes and heroines were selected through nationwide vetting process led by the National Heroes Council and the Ministry of Interior, drawing nominations from counties, state agencies, civil society, and the public. Each was evaluated based on impact, integrity, and contribution to Kenya's development, unity, and heritage. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Well, congratulations to our very own Mwana, who's now the Mwanamke Bomba. Yeah. Fantastic. It was good to see you there. Congratulations. That's a fantastic show she has. Now, we're taking a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be having a conversation with Godfrey Osotsi, the Vihiga Senate, and also the Deputy Party Leader, ODM, on the reflections with the former Prime Minister and the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the kind of leader he was and the award that he has received today, and how they will remember him as a party. That coming up in just a short while. Send in your questions at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Monday Report. See you in just a bit. Coming up, majority of villages in Kitui remain in darkness, dimming their hopes.
Make your home a signature home. Introducing Lifestyle Steel Stone Coated Roofing Tiles, where roofing excellence is backed by a lifetime guarantee from Mabati Rolling Mills. Welcome to your preferred home for Biashara.
All right, thank you for staying with the Monday Report. We have our guest, Honorable Godfrey Osotsi, the Vihiga Senate, and also the Deputy Party Leader, ODM. Thank you very much for making time. We understand that it is still a very difficult time for the country and ODM after losing Party Leader, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. But what are your reflections of the life and times of Raila as a party leader? What kind of a person was he?
Trevor, let me start by once again sending my condolences to the family of our fallen hero, Raila Amolo Odinga, and also to the party fraternity across the country, and also Kenyans and all Africans, and indeed the entire world, for passing of a renowned hero in Raila Amolo Odinga. And Trevor, as you know, that I had a lot of difficulties making a decision to come to this interview because I am still mourning, just like many other leaders within ODM. But I decided to come because, as you know, that today we were celebrating Mashujaa Day. And the celebration this year centered around a hero in the name of Raila Amolo Odinga. So that compelled me to come and say one or two things about the hero in Raila Amolo Odinga. But we are still mourning. It's been very difficult for most of us. What happened was so quick. We were not expecting. I personally was among the many people who spoke to him, actually a day before his death. And I know so many of other people within the party and outside the party spoke to him as well. We were not expecting this. Baba was in very high spirit. And on 2nd of October this year, he sat at Serena Hotel, I think entire afternoon up to late in the evening, and the people were coming to see him. He was summoning people to see him. And I was in the Senate, and he called me and asked me to see him at Serena. So when I went in there, we talked a number of things about the politics, about the party, and he was in high spirits. He opened up and said he was doing so well, and that very soon we were going to embark on a very, very serious party strengthening program. I do not want to venture so much in some of the specific things that we discussed, because, as I said, we are still mourning. I do not want to dive deep into very complex political issues, but a lot of things Baba is one politician who likes keeping cards close to his chest. But that day I had a feeling that he opened up on many issues. And after that, after our meeting, I went home. I drove home. And when I reached home, I saw so many missed calls from Gladys Wanga and the PA to Gladys Wanga. So I called back, and Gladys told me, make sure you come to Serena. Come back to Serena.
Okay.
Come back, Mzee is waiting for you.
That was after you left.
After I
summoned
left,
back again.
I was summoned back. So with the traffic from Karen to town, it was hectic. At some point I almost thought of getting a boda to try and rush there. But we managed to reach there, and we found that Baba was waiting. Seated in the room, we had Gladys Wanga, we had Rosa Buyu, we had Junet Mohammed, and we had our finance director, Kawino. So the meeting now started when I joined them, and Baba said that he is fine, but he would want to travel out of the country for more medical checkups. And that, you know, at that point, we were at the point of finalizing our preparation of ODM at 20. And a lot of logistics had been done, communication had been done. A lot of counties had even booked air tickets to travel. Others had booked buses. And then the Baba asked that I need to travel. So you people advise, how do we proceed? Do we proceed with this ODM at 20? Or we wait until I come back? And he gave us a chance, and he was listening very carefully and very keenly to the contribution of all of us. And we were anonymous in our position that it would be very important that ODM at 20 be presided over by Baba himself, because it was not just a celebration of ODM, it is also a celebration of the Raila Odinga statesman. And because, as you know, ODM is just an embodiment of what Raila believes in. It is about his struggles. It is about his legacy. They are all embedded within the ODM. So we were of the opinion that we will delay it for months until he comes. But then he directed that even as you delay, the pre-ODM activities must go on, because we were receiving a lot of demands from all our counties that we needed to do meetings in those counties. So we were to do a meeting in Turkana, Kajiado, Vihiga, and many other places. So we agreed at that point. But then just before we concluded the meeting, Odoro Ngwen walked in and said that he's been receiving calls from mainstream media saying that tomorrow they were going to run headlines on Baba's health, that Baba is critically ill. And Baba said, I'm here, I am alive, and you can see I'm here. So now we were strategizing on how to respond to that, and Baba says, don't, let us just take a picture. So we went near the entrance of the hotel, and we took a picture with Baba. Then I think after one day he traveled to India. And while he was in India, he was talking to us constantly. So it was a shock that even after all that, he passed on. He was very very, very enthusiastic about ODM at 20.
When you spoke, you made it seem like he had a premonition of his passing on. What did you mean?
I think so. I think he had a premonition about his death because, first of all, early this year, I think around June, he came up with this idea of ODM at 20. And he said that he wanted us to celebrate the 20 years of existence of ODM, and he wanted it to be very big. The plan was that we were going to celebrate it for 3 days. And you can see the irony about 3 days. 3 days is 72 hours that he wanted to be buried. So we chose on Mombasa, being the gateway to Kenya, and being the one of our strongest strongholds. And Baba's plan was that we were going to invite all the people who have passed through the ODM system, including, as you know, all these top leaders went through ODM. Honorable William Ruto, the president, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, who is a former 4th president, people like Kalonzo Musyoka, people like Musalia Mudavadi, people like Henry Kosigei, Kenneth Marende, and others.
So you wanted to invite everyone?
They were all invited.
They were invited?
To that. So, and international guests as well. They were invited. Friends of Baba across the world were invited. So it is ironical that what we were preparing for turned out to be his celebration in death. So clearly that points to the fact that he had a premonition of his death.
Did he say something that made you feel like it's a premonition of his passing on?
Well, there are a few things he said in meetings, like on that particular day, on 2nd, in my private meeting with him. He said that we need to keep this party stronger. We need to bring in more people. We need to have a strategy to gather all and scatter none. That he told me. And that is one of the things that I will try and uphold even as we move on after we have finished the mourning period.
So, former retired President Uhuru Kenyatta remained in Siaya to console the family of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga today. What is the party planning to do to immortalize your leader?
Well, as I said, Trevor, we are in the mourning period. It will take us a while to accept this. And I think it's just fair that we be allowed to mourn Baba for some time. In African way, we mourn for 40 days. It is going to be hard to accept the reality. So our focus now is to continue mourning. But after the mourning period, I think as a party, we will sit down, we'll engage constructively, respectively, and then pick up our pieces and plan for our next course of action. But as you know that we have by-elections which are coming next month, we may need also to focus on that as well.
Yeah.
So I want to urge all our leaders and all our members to be very patient and understand that we are in the mourning period. Hard political decisions will have to be made at some point, but as you know that the ODM party is a very, very formidable institution with structures.
Yeah.
So all the decisions of the party will have to be processed, bearing that in mind.
Yeah, we understand that you're still in the mourning period and we respect that fully. But I saw you at the funeral yesterday. What was running through your mind when you heard the leaders speaking, as a party leader yourself?
Well, Raila was a politician, a great politician for that matter. And people are entitled to their opinion. People are entitled to say anything. And that was the spirit of Raila. He encouraged freedom of speech, and I don't think there is anything wrong with that. They had their right to say what they said, but as I've said, we are in the mourning period. After the mourning period, we will engage internally and make some decisions on some of the things we had people say in that funeral. Maybe I can only make a reference to my own speech. I mentioned that as a party, we are indeed very grateful to President William Ruto for honoring our party leader with a very befitting send-off state funeral. That was a show of love. That was a show of respect to Raila Odinga, given his contribution to the building of this nation. And not just this nation, the whole continent of Africa and the world as a whole. So that we really appreciate. But even as we appreciate that, I mentioned that one of the last important things that people should not lose sight of is that Raila penned his signature on a 10-point agenda with President William Ruto. And Raila was largely a people-centered politician. Anything he did, he always asked, where are the people in this? So the people are in the document that he signed with William Ruto, a 10-point agenda. And our wish as a party, and I think it's also the wish of Raila Amolo Odinga, he kept talking about it before his death, that those 10 issues be implemented. For example, the issue of stoppage of abduction, was very, very, very important to Raila. The issue of compensation of the people who died in demonstrations and the people who could be in jail, who are actually in jail now for participating in demonstrations. And the people who were harmed, they are either hospitalized or they're at home. And many other issues, the 10-point agenda, which you are well aware of. Raila would be even more happier in heaven if the government of Kenya implemented those 10-point agenda. And just to let you know, is that our last Central Management Committee, the issue of the 10-point agenda came up, and we engaged the UDA side, and they agreed that based on the document, that joint communique that came out, that that 10-point agenda would be implemented by March next year. So I would wish to ask the government, led by William Ruto, that we appreciate the state funeral that you gave Baba, but Baba would be happier if he left something for the people of Kenya. He has done so much for the people of Kenya. He brought devolution, he brought a new constitution, he brought a political party, multi-party system in this country. He brought stability in this country. But that last bit that he did must be respected, and I think a lot more focus has to be put around it. And I think that's the hallmark of the broad-based arrangement. The glue that puts broad-based together is the 10-point agenda. So I want to use this occasion to ask President William Ruto, which I did yesterday, that he should use his ability, capacity, and powers to ensure that the Raila Odinga's wish for Kenyans contained in the 10-point agenda is implemented.
Okay. Everybody says that they spoke to the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga before his passing on. You also said the same thing. What exactly did he tell you that is your true north now? Because there are quite a number of people who have very many conversations that are not the same. So what is your true north? What did he tell you that you believe this is the direction you should?
Well, I said I do not want to go deeper into it because we are in the morning period. But I have mentioned 10-point agenda. That would be an important thing to consider moving forward. Unity of the party would be very key moving forward. But sometimes when you talk to Baba, it was not necessarily politics. We spoke many things. For example, Baba was a very strong lover of football. He would discuss football with you. We would watch games with him. I was lucky that most of the time he would call us to go and watch football together. The only match that I avoided watching with him was when Arsenal was playing Chelsea. Because I'm a supporter of Chelsea, I wouldn't want to be closer to Baba because he was very, very strong supporter of Chelsea. Yeah. And he wouldn't entertain any other person supporting another team around him. Okay. So, so we used to speak to people many things, not just politics.
Okay. We respect the fact that the country at large and the entire continent is still in the mourning period, but there's a statement here that is causing a lot of confusion. In fact, I want to bring it up. This is a statement that was made by the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga just about 21 days or so in Kitui, I believe, and this is what he said that has written a lot of interpretation. Let's play that soundbite and hear the interpretation from the leadership.
That ODM will not have a candidate in 2027. Who has told you? You have not passed any resolutions as a party to say how we are going to go into the elections of 2027. So wherever you are, don't commit the party to some things which have not been discussed.
What is the reaction to that?
Well, this was not said in Kitui. Let me correct you. This was said during the last parliamentary group meeting, which was held at Agile Hotel along Mombasa Road. I did not attend that meeting personally because I was engaged elsewhere, but it was significant. And I remember when Honorable Junet Mohammed, who was a convener of that PG, was asked about the resolution of the meeting, he told the people, the media, that refer to Baba's statement as a resolution of that meeting. Let me just explain the context in which Baba was saying that. You know, ODM is the most structured political party in Kenya. We have structures from the polling station to the ward, to the constituencies, to the counties, to the national. And even at the national, we have various structures. We have several committees to process different aspects. We have the National Executive Committee, and then we have the Central Management Committee, where I sit, and I also sit in the NEC. And then we have the National Governing Council. And then we have the National Delegates Convention. And all decisions of the party have to be passed through those organs. And I must say that Baba respected the structures of the party. He could not make any decision without taking them through the structures of the party. Even you remember Trevor, when he wanted to make a decision about broad-based arrangement, he had to move across the country, consulting and engaging party officials and party organs at the county levels. So what Baba was trying to emphasize, that at the right time, the party will process decisions of that nature through its structures.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a period of mourning, so we're still not going to go into hardcore politics. We're just going to talk about how you remember Jacom as the party leader and what he really stood for. And stay with me. So let's go through some conversations that happened in Kitui, which was the Mashujaa Day celebrations. Then we'll come back and talk about this conversation and how it was honored, whether it was celebrated the same way in life as is now being celebrated in death. That's a conversation we'll have in a short while. But Kitui County played host to this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations, held under the theme Transforming Lives Through Sustainable Energy Solutions. But even as President William Ruto led the national festivities in their backyard, many Kitui residents remained literally in the dark as they are yet to be connected to the national power grid. Citizen TV visited the county and found a region where lack of electricity has dimmed opportunities there. But as Mary Mwoki now reports, the president has now pledged to connect 16,000 households to the grid within the next 3 months.
In the small village of Imumba in Kitui East, nightfall means darkness for most homes. Inside the mud-walled house, Philip Komu's children huddle around a flickering solar lamp, its weak beam their only hope of finishing homework. The light, powered by a palm-sized solar panel perched on their thatched roof, barely holds through the night.
Kama siku 15 tu ndio tumelipia. Siku ingine 15 ndio mwezi ishe, tunakaa kuangiza tu. Yaani wanasomanga wakati tunalipia hii Sunny King. Tukokoza pesa ikipotea hakuna kusoma. Wanakaa tu hakuna masomo.
When he can't afford the daily payment to keep the light on, his home is engulfed in utter darkness. The education of his children grinds to a stop and life slows down. For many here, electricity is not just a luxury, it's a distant promise. A promise that is made every election cycle but never actualized.
Tangu tupate uhuru, tunjapikiwa mambo ya stima. Ile tunatumia mambo ya daylight. Tuseme kama ni charging. Na wakati hakuna jua, then hakuna mambo ya charging.
It is a reality that cuts deeper than just darkness, with traders closing down their businesses early for fear of insecurity. Yet, just a few kilometers away, a different story unfolds. Here in Ditime Market, power lines crisscross the dusty skyline, each line signifying a promise fulfilled and a renewed life purpose for the residents of this market, who tell us it has transformed their lives for the better.
Stima tumepata kama baada ya miaka 3 na imetusaidia sana kwa biashara, kwa kazi na kwa mwangaza.
Electricity arrived here 3 years ago through the government's last mile connectivity program. Shops now stay open late, welders buzz with work, and children can read long after the sunset. But even in this newfound light, they say challenges persist.
Ukiweka kama moto ya kama 200, 100 inaenda kwa watu wa Kenya Power. Ukipata kama unit 4, unit 2 ni zako. Sasa hapo tunakuanga na challenge.
The county government acknowledges the challenge, adding that the county has engaged the national government for support to boost connectivity for residents of Kitui County, residents whose lives literally stop when the sun sets.
Energy is fundamental to spur any development in all spheres, whether for home comfort, security, small industries, large industries. Energy is at the center for that.
During the Mashujaa Day celebrations held at Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui County, President William Ruto pledged to light up more homes in the next couple of months.
Bado tuko na wananchi wengi hawajafikiwa na huduma ya stima. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Sababu hiyo, serikali ya Kenya imetoa pesa shilingi bilioni 2.2 kuunganisha manyumba ya wananchi hapa Kitui 16,500 mpya between now and February next year.
Mary Mwoki, Citizen TV.
Now, detectives at Kabete Police Station in Nairobi are pursuing crucial leads that could help in the arrest of suspects captured on CCTV cameras vandalizing property at Kabete Vet Lab Secondary School. In the ensuing Friday night invasion, 2 security guards were also maimed and killed at the school. As Franklin Wala now reports, the school's management suspect a group of Form 4 students who had been suspended.
Events turned tragic at Kabete Vetlab Secondary School moments after a rehearsal exercise with the Form 4 students. In the dead of the night, an armed group of unknown individuals laid a daring attack on the school. Upon intruding, the assailants' first target were 2 security guards on duty. The guards were violently attacked and murdered. A security guard in a neighboring building heard the commotion and notified the school managers.
So when I arrived in the compound, 1 soldier was dead, but 1 was still breathing. And when they were trying to rush this one to hospital, he also died on the way.
Habari zilitufikia. Kwanza mimi nilipata hizo habari kwa mshtuko sana. Naomba tu haki itendeke kwa wale ambao wameaga, ndugu yangu akiwa mmoja wao, na pia vile tunaomba usaidizi wa yule ambaye anahisi kwamba anaweza tusaidia.
The school principal was among the first responders. Shockingly, he found one of his employees, a security guard, already killed.
But here they got in through here and got out the same place.
The assailants, who he says were well conversant with the institution, took their rats to the staff room and the computer laboratory. Here, they vandalized and stole property of unknown value. The principal suspects 1 Form 4 student who had caused drama in the school during Friday's rehearsal exercise. It is said the student who was on suspension over a disciplinary matter could be the mastermind of the attack. The school management alleged he could have mobilized other students who were on suspension to attack the school.
They took 10 laptops and then some keyboards of the desktops. But in the process of trying to run away, these keyboards dropped. Again, when they were doing all this, they broke all the CCTVs along the corridors, which they also put in the carton. They were trying to disappear with them. These CCTVs also dropped.
Na kuna vijana ambao wanasuspektiwa kwamba ndio walifanya hiyo kazi na hiyo mauaji na walitoroka, but serikali inaendelea kufanya kazi yake.
The 2 bodies are currently at KNH morgue awaiting an autopsy, even as detectives say they are still piecing together details into the incident. Among things under probe are CCTV footage which captured moments when the suspects launched the attack. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
Amnesty International has raised concern over the state of human rights in Tanzania following what it terms as a widespread violation of human rights targeting opposition candidates and their supporters. This comes amid human rights organizations' report revealing increasing cases of harassment, abductions, and intimidation against those critical of President Samia Suluhu's administration just days before the country's general election. Crispin Otieno has more.
Just a week before Tanzania heads to the polls, Amnesty International on Monday raised a red flag over a growing trend of human rights violations across Tanzania, cases mostly targeting opposition candidates, their supporters, journalists, and human rights defenders.
We are seeing a wave of terror. We've seen unlawful killings happening in the country. We've seen disappearances of opposition leaders. We've seen disappearances of even very senior officials like a former ambassador of Tanzania to Cuba. We have seen closure of media outlets. We have seen closure of other online platforms.
The organization raised alarm over incidents of enforced disappearances, abductions, and killings of opposition leaders, which have sparked fears of a compromised electoral process.
Tanzania election in 2025 creates a worrying trend in the region, a worrying trend that an opposition leader can be arrested, jailed, and trial goes on to elections. A worrying trend that any foreigner that wants to travel to the country for trial observation, for solidarity, can be arrested, can be prevented from coming into the country and tortured, as we saw in the case of Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire.
Amnesty International further regretted the continued harassment of key opposition figures challenging President Suluhu's government, mostly by state security agencies.
And in the country, of course, there is a lot of worry and anxiety building up ahead of the election. Election seasons are usually an opportunity for citizens to renew their citizenship through voting and voting for the leaders that they want. But also it is an opportunity to put to account their leaders. But we are seeing this has actually been almost denied because of the disqualification of the major candidates of the opposition. So the elections proceed with the ruling party going into the election virtually unchallenged.
Tanzania is expected to hold its general election on the 29th of October. However, prominent Chadema party leaders Luhaga Mpina and Tundu Lissu have been barred from participating due to pending court cases. The organization is now calling on global human rights bodies to intervene and safeguard democracy in the United Republic of Tanzania, especially as the country heads into the election. Crispino TNO, Citizen TV.
All right, we're taking a quick break here on the Monday Report. When we come back, we still continue the conversation with Godfrey Osotsi, who's a Vihiga Senator and the Deputy Party Leader ODM, just in the life and times of Honorable the late Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and with the kind of person he was and the leadership that he bestowed upon ODM and what they'll do going forward. That conversation coming up in just a bit. All right, don't go too far. All right, thank you for staying with Citizen Monday Report. Honorable Godfrey Osotsi is still with me in the Vihiga Senate and also the Deputy Party Leader ODM. And we're still talking about the memories of the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. And Honorable Osotsi, what did he stand for as a leader? The virtues that you knew, as you knew him, you know that this is where he drew the line, that he would not go beyond this. What did he stand for?
Well, Honorable Raila Odinga was a very exceptional personality. There are a lot of virtues about what he believed in. I think the most important virtues that I can talk about is that his resiliency. He was very resilient. Whenever he wanted to pursue an agenda, he would pursue it consistently until he achieves the outcome. And he would endure all the challenges along the way. That was a very important thing I read about him. The other bit was discipline. He was even personal life, he was very disciplined. He used to watch over his exercise regularly. He would exercise like 3 times a day, consistently, something that even us young people cannot do. He was also disciplined in the approach to his politics. He would be very disciplined if we want to achieve a particular target. The other bit is he was very hardworking. Raila was very hardworking, extremely hardworking. And you could see him work for many hours. You could see him moving from one point to another in a day. You would be in a meeting with him at night, and you think that he has gone home. And then the next day you hear that he went to 3 other meetings before he retired. And in the morning he's up. You see him on the screen addressing a meeting somewhere. So he was a very hard-working individual. The other bit is he was not selfish, especially in mentoring new generation of leaders. I don't think there is any leader in this country who has not gone through Raila Odinga's mentorship. Everyone, including the president, the former president, and many others. But one of the greatest things I saw him is that everything he did was people-centered. He used to think about the people all the time. And that's probably why he was very popular. And not just here in Kenya, even internationally. I remember in February 2023, I traveled with him to Abuja, Nigeria. Yeah. And I was very shocked that Abuja airport, where we landed, it almost looked like we are landing in Kisumu or somewhere in Nairobi, because the people who were there and they were cheering him. And then we went to a meeting in Abuja city, and we were welcomed with many people cheering him. So he was known all over the world and loved because of his people-centered policies.
Okay.
And you talk about Kenya being a tribal society. Raila never believed in tribalism. In fact, some of the closest people to Raila were not even Luos. They were not even Luyas. You could hear people like Ronald Ngeni, another Mzee, ODM Mzee from Bomet, who Raila would talk to all the time. You could hear someone like Kamau wa Raila from Murang'a, who was always with Raila. In fact, sometimes you wanted to see Raila, and you were not able to get him. You just look for Kamau wa Raila. So he never believed in tribalism.
Okay.
And above all, Raila never kept grudges. You would differ with him politically, and he will not have an issue with you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he mended fences with many people, even after having differed with them at some point.
All right, as we wind up on this, because we know it's a sensitive time, so we will not go into the hardcore politics. Like you said, we're still mourning. But what is your final message to the party members, those who ascribe to the ODM philosophy, on the future of ODM as we close?
Well, I know many people loved Baba, especially our party members within ODM fraternity. And I want to say that we need to respect Baba in death, even the way we respected him when he was alive. And the best respect we can give him is that we take our time to mourn him. I would think that we should take 30 days, like the African way of mourning, to mourn, reflect about the contribution of Baba to the society, and thereafter we can engage on matters that are dear to the party, on matters that are dear to Kenyans. We wouldn't want to see a scenario where we are having people pushing and pulling each other now that Baba has gone. We want the party to be together, and I'm happy that yesterday key members of our party, top leadership, talked about the unity of the party. We want to respect each person's opinion, contribution, and we move together as one. As Baba said, we need to gather all and scatter none. Okay. So that we build a party that he wanted it to be. You remember, he has personally supervised party election from the polling station, which was the first phase, to the wards and constituency and the counties, because he wanted to have a stronger party. Okay. So we should keep that vision in respect of Baba, to ensure that the legacy he left behind, which is now embedded within the ODM party, is intact. Okay. So that we have a single, strong and independent political party called ODM that will be remembered for years to come.
Thank you so much for making time for us, Honorable Godfrey Osotsi Vihiga, Senator and Deputy Party Leader, ODM. And also there's a message here from Evans Nganga, who's a scrap metal dealers leader, says, please convey the scrap metal industry's honor to the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. On behalf of the 300,000 members, I request that you convey our regards live, because he's the one who made the 2022 ban on scrap business be lifted after he spoke to President Uhuru Kenyatta at that time. He's the one who made our business to be reopened after we had a meeting with him in a hotel in Nairobi. All right, thanks, Evans.
Thank you very much. And I just want to add that Raila had so many people that he used to talk to, the low people, scrap metal people and people running small businesses. I used to talk to them directly. I remember one time I sat with him and he picked a call from someone who is a shoe shiner in Kakamega town. and he was talking to him about the politics in that region. I was so surprised. He had such people all over the country that he used to talk to directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's leave it there for now. Honorable Godfrey Osotsi Vihiga, Senator Deputy Party Leader, ODM. We hope when the hardcore time for politics comes, you'll also join us. But for now, it's a mourning period, and in respect for the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, will not go into the politics of the day for now. All right, we're taking a quick break. We're back with sporting action in just a bit, and here's what's coming up. Time now for some sporting action. Nairobi United are leaving nothing to chance as they heighten their preparations ahead of the return leg of the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary tie against Tunisia's giants Sportif du Sahel after seizing a 2-0 advantage in the first leg match stage at the Ulinzi Sports Complex on Sunday. Nairobi's United 2-0 victory at home gave them a significant advantage as they head into the second leg, and the players are focused on delivering another strong performance away. United's technical director Salim Ali emphasized that their priority is to refine their tactical discipline for their away fixture in Tunisia as they bid to secure passage to the next round.
Your debut in this continental competition. How much of a motivation is it for you to chase that piece of history?
I think we're not chasing the history. First is our second match away for this team. If we can have a very good match in Tunis next week, then I believe history will come by itself. But for us now is that match. We want it to be a different match, different approach. And I believe if we keep the same morale and the same commitment with the players, we'll do that. Then of course history will come again in Kenya.
Kiangalia finishing mtu amefinish akiwa tu low, so unashindwa maybe ni lose concentration. So I think from kesho tutawakia tu concentration hapo to the back, finishing yetu pia. Because sidhani tumekuwa na hatari mingi hapo mbele.
Elizabeth Oyengo and Elisha Kipsoi are the winners of the Standard Chartered Half Marathon Mombasa Satellite Run held at the Mama Ngina waterfront. The Mombasa Satellite Run featured multiple race categories: the 5 kilometers family fun run, 10 kilometers and 21 kilometers race, giving local running enthusiasts the opportunity to be part of the single-day sporting event. Although designed as a fun run, the event was equipped with chip-end timing marks to allow participants there to record their official race times. The race is a precursor to the 22nd edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon set for Sunday, October 26th, which has so far attracted over 30,000 runners from 92 nationalities.
Matamanio yangu ni kuwa siku moja nitawakilisha nchi yetu ya Kenya kimataifa, kitaifa na kimataifa katika mbio za riadha. Kama bado naendelea kutransit from half nikiendelea mpaka full marathon.
My target was to run below, I'm still running 140, but I'm hoping to run 130, my PR. Now I'm still practicing, and I hope to do better next time.
The reason why we came to Mombasa, obviously, as a bank, we've been in Mombasa for over 100 years. This is a key market for us. But over and above that, as we gear up to the main marathon, which is next week, we normally carry out different satellite runs in preparation to that. And Mombasa is a key place for us.
As the nation celebrated Mashujaa Day, sportsmen and women in Githunguri area in Kiambu County and nearby schools have honored Taekwondo coach Ndungu Ng'ang'a as their hero. Ndungu, age 73, has been teaching the sport for over 35 years now, helping many players develop their skills, with others transitioning to coaching after acquiring the requisite skills through his mentorship. Mefen School in Utawala area is amongst those that have benefited from his Taekwondo skills. Speaking during Taekwondo Players Award ceremony at Mefen Academy in Utawala, Ndungu urged parents to use the sport to help instill discipline in their children, especially during the long school holiday season.
Now I want to welcome the
Tunataka kurudisha watoto wetu na vijana wetu pamoja, ili wakati shule imefungwa msimu huu mrefu hivi, wasiwe na mambo zingine za kufanya huku kama uvutaji wa bangi, unywaji wa dawa za kulevya na mambo zingine zile mbaya mbaya ambazo zinashikwa na watoto wakati weko likizo. Juu inaonekana michezo kwa government schools zimeenda chini sana. Waruhusu hata mchezo wa taekwondo na michezo ile ingine iweze kufanyika katika hizo mashule, ndio wawe katika level moja na shule hizi za private.
Vipawa kwa spoti imekuwa nguzo kuu kwa hii shule na watoto wamekuwa wakifurahia. Leo ilikuwa siku ya kuwasherehekea, ndio sababu tunawapatia zawadi tofauti tofauti kwa ile kazi nzuri wamekuwa wakifanya kutoka mwanzo wa hii mwaka mpaka sasa.
Tunakutana na mashule ambayo yako na majini.
All right, let's leave it there for now. On the Monday Report, on behalf of everyone who's made this possible, we say good night and God bless. And still our prayers goes out to all the family members and friends of the former Prime Minister, the late Raila Amolo Odinga, and the family as well. We'll keep them in prayer and Kenyans at large as this mourning period continues. All right, bye for now. Have a good night.